Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 17th of July. The markets are a bit twitty yesterday. Let's have a quick look at what's happening already this morning. Some poor data coming out for the UK here. In fact, I'll just go to the simple one. There we go. So Australian data, not good either. Unemployment rate increased, and the employment change, also was worse than expected. It expected about 21,000 jobs there, and it ended up with 2. So not a great outlook there for the Aussie right now, after it's had a good old time otherwise. The interest rates not cut last time, and maybe they'll be ruining that idea, but we'll see. Anyway, UK average earnings stubbornly sitting there at 5%. However, the claimant count is it was higher than expected, and also the unemployment rate's gone up from 4.6 expected to 4.7. So overall, not good numbers first thing this morning out there. What we've got left then, we've got core retail sales. It tends to be a little bit softer than this would suggest. It's more of an orange than a red most often. Might change a little bit and may become a bit more important with the tariffs sitting there. Just looking at expecting positive numbers there. Aside of that, well, yesterday's PMI, PPI, wasn't it? Producers Price Index. Just a note on that. That came, both the numbers there, the core figure and the headline figure, both come in below expectation. So hence we saw some action there with the dollar. But I think the rest of the action with the dollar looks like the discussions about firing Powell, the chief of the Fed, who make the decisions on the interest rates. Anyway, right, let's get on and look at these markets from a bigger picture here. Euro dollar then yesterday, it looked for a while, it might have been going the other way, but it did for a short while, but it's back into trend. The noise that was sort of came out there, not really doing too much overall. If you had put a regression line in there, it was back within the mean of that very quickly. So looking like it's got further downside opportunity on this bigger time frame. The only thing is it's quite messy now. Yesterday, I caught this yesterday, I called it about 12 o'clock actually, so I called it on this later candle here. Caught the short on that, but that went down pretty much. I was hoping it was, well, thinking it might have set off earlier, but it was a bit later. If you got that, well, that was well done. Today, I think it's going to be a bit more tricky on here because it's quite a mess. We'll see how things shape up. It doesn't mean to say it won't continue the sell-off, but when you look at the shape of things here, it doesn't. We may just get a bit of an inside day sort of, or some inside bars on the inside on the day. Right, the pound, well, that also recovered a little bit for a while yesterday, but selling again at the moment. The data not particularly good there, jobs data, etc. So the only thing is the stubborn average earnings rate there at 5% is probably holding it up a little bit better, but overall I think the Bank of England realised that they've got to do some cutting, and that's being discussed still. So looking at the market, obviously still in a nice downward trend, and again, like the euro, it's messed things up a little bit. We might just get a continuation post 8 o'clock. I've generally been looking sort of into 9 and, well, obviously midday yesterday before taking some trades. I'm just waiting for a signal to come through. The signals are just not happening in the morning, but that happens, and we've been through a long period of that. So it seems like I've been talking it for more than months. I think I've been talking about it for a year now. It's almost been moving at a different time. We're sort of sitting there waiting for Trump, maybe. Anyway, US dollar yen, well, that's still softening here. Again, it's a bit ugly, not quite as ugly as some of the others there, and well, we could see a continuation. It's already hit the pivot, so it doesn't look that great for passing the R1 today, really, with the previous highs there. but who knows, it might slip up there later with the data, but it's not key. No, well, I don't think the numbers are really normally key and big enough to move the markets. Australian dollar taking a bigger slip this morning. Also, unemployment data is missing, and it's back to where it started almost. If you'd drawn us on the original trend that was running across there, that's back towards sitting in that period. And looking quite soft here. Now it's already into its S2, so again it might break down through the S2 because of the bad data that was out there earlier on, but a lot of that would have been priced in. If anything, we could be, if we were looking at regression channels on this, we could see it pulling back perhaps post 8 o'clock a little bit. US dollar CAD, not really anything happening on this for me at the moment. Some of the cross pairs look better, but then because the CAD's not really moving much against the dollar, it's mirroring the dollar a little bit for the other pairs. I think I mentioned this yesterday on it was at the Euro CAD yesterday. Yeah, that actually it's the 4 hourly. Let's get the hourly. There we go. That actually, it went about the same time actually. Yeah, I thought it went a bit earlier, but no, it went the same time, and it didn't come down to its S1 there. So the euro dollar was a better bet. Okay, anyway, that was looking at the CAD, wasn't I? Get sidetracked a little here. So CAD, well, not really. I don't expect too much movement on that at the moment. New Zealand dollar, it's really mirroring the US dollar, Australian dollar even, largely coming off as well. Again, yesterday it did eventually break down. What time was that? It's a bit earlier, 8-9 o'clock. It started moving off. The bigger move came there at towards midday, and then we got that horrible afternoon spiky bit of price action going. But as ever with some of these events, they just happen, and then it goes back to trend. I will get around to doing a session on regression trends and using them. Okay, just looking at elsewhere. US dollar Swissy continues to weaken. It's nearly now breaking its sort of bigger daily trend line here. It's still below the 34 and 50, but it's not a great mover in terms of the upside on this. I know there's a lot of retail traders that are short on the Swissy, i.e. they want to see the dollar pushing up further. They might eventually get their way, and it's thereabouts, but quite ugly. Not a lot to be done there for now this morning. Euro yen, weird old day yesterday. Popped in there, put a new high, and then reverse. So got this bit of a key reversal day. On the bigger time frames here, looking a bit soft at the moment, as it is on the lower time frames here, just breaking down. This is more meaningful if it breaks down these lows here for me at the moment. Yes, it looks quite soft where it is, but as I say, it's confirming a lower high and perhaps a bigger correction. We'll see. The yen is just looking quite so soft as well at this stage. Okay, I looked at Euro CAD. There was nothing happening there. A lot of these cross pairs just not really working too well at the moment. Actually, what was I looking at yesterday? Pound CAD. No, I can't remember which one it was now. I looked at one at one stage. Might have been the Aussie New Zealand. No, it wasn't. Should have marked it. I normally mark them. Yeah, it was New Zealand CAD actually. I've looked at it later on. It was doing the same sort of price action as the dollar New Zealand, so not worth doing anything with. And well, it did the same thing. It did hit its S1 just about. Right. Okay. So not a great deal there today on the currency side at the moment. I'll have a quick look at gold. And you just see on the dailies, I'm not really interested in this personally. It's just chopping along there. It's not really, well, it's got a direction. It's sideward. Okay, oil, been out of the oil market for ages, as I keep on saying. But it's important to sort of update on the markets that seem to be doing something, and this one's certainly not one I want to be in at the moment. One thing I'll have a quick look is platinum. Got one of my mentees actually trading platinum particularly well a lot of the time. It's gone a bit ugly for him now. Yes, it's had a couple. There was a nice short opportunity back here yesterday. It was ugly though as sin. Today, well, we just got to wait to see if we get some of these trends broken. There's a potential it breaks that 50, bit of a rollover, maybe to the S1, maybe more coming out of that. But even that's not looking so good now. But it's had some really lovely breakout moves, and it's just timing, watching it, going back every few hours and seeing what it's doing. Right, that was that. Looked at gold, looked at oil. Let's look at the equity markets then. S&Ps. Well, holding on tight around the tops there, so it's not quite the time to sell it yet. Although there's, I was listening yesterday to some news somewhere. I heard, and they were talking about the FTSE doing quite well at the moment, and I'd had this discussion in trading room. But it looks like apparently it's money flows from likes of the States coming into the UK stock market. There you go. It's the money. The money's being spread around a little bit. Anyway, they might be seen as value. So quite messy S&Ps here, really on the lower time frames. It looks like it's just put a higher low, and looks like it could carry on this morning a little bit, maybe into the afternoon there. But the overall picture looks quite positive still. Talking of the FTSE, it's off slightly this morning, but it's hanging in there with the big boys, even though the UK economy is it's holding in there largely. I still do wonder if it'll roll over. Looking at the actual price action, if you come back to the 4-hour, you can see the shoulder, the head. If this was to break this neckline here, I'd be quite bearish on it. But for now, it's hanging there, hanging. DAX, it's looking a little bit more positive again. Overall bigger picture there, look, it's trying to get back to those prior highs by looks of things. So equity markets still seem to be where the money's going. Forex market's a little bit more stagnant these mornings. No summary really for the Forex currency pairs, because there's nothing there that's really ready for me to go this morning. Right, I shall leave you on that happy, cheerful note, and I will catch you. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.